Welcome, welcome, everybody. Latar and I have been hanging out for years now. I should say working together, but it's like hanging out because,
We just
well,
hang out.
we enjoy working together. So it doesn't seem like work, right? It's kind of a nice, fun opportunity. We often bring our skill sets together. And this week, it's all about Latara and personal branding. She's an expert at this topic. I love every time I get the chance to hear her present it. She is the founder and owner and chief in charge of Ideal Marketing Solutions. Fantastic company. They do fantastic work. Lots of fun stuff that I've seen her do for other businesses, branding oriented, getting the social media presence and your online presence organized. So I'm very excited to hear what she has to share with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Alice.
You're very welcome.
All right. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oops. There we go. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the power of personal branding.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm already off to a great start here. Crafting your unique identity to maximize your impact and attract your ideal clients. All right. What is personal branding? Before I get into this, Alice did a wonderful job of introducing me, but I just want to share with you I have worked with luxury brands for 18 years and helped them with the branding elements for their companies. But I want to tell you something that you probably don't know is that people have a distinct advantage over huge corporations. And that is, okay, so let me just give you a couple of examples here. Anybody know the gecko from Geico or Flo from Progressive Insurance? She's always wearing that white and blue apron for some reason.
Oh, yes. We see her everywhere.
And then, of course, what does Jake from State Farm always wear?
Khaki pants
Khakis.
and a button down shirt, red usually.
Red
How do
shirt.
we
Yeah.
know these things? How do we know these things? It's because corporations come up with these little miniature branding elements that we already have innately. They're trying to create that personal brand by creating these characters to
Hmm.
connect with their audience. But you, as an individual, with your personal brand, you have that ability to do that without coming up with an imaginary character because that character is you.
No,
So,
that's cool. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's excellent.
thank you. So your brand is an extension of you. And I know that a lot of people, when they're first starting out in the world of entrepreneurship, they don't consider how am I branding myself? Because they're just going out there and they're trying to get a few clients and they're kind of winging it. They're throwing spaghetti against the wall. And they're not really thinking about the larger concept, which is your brand helps you find those people and connect with those people and build that trust and rapport even before you have a conversation with them. So your personal brand is going to be doing all of the heavy lifting for you. So it's important to come up with you want to sit down and reflect on what does your personal brand mean? And a lot of people that means two colors and a logo, but there's a heck of a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than just that. It is what do you want to be associated with you? How do you want to be perceived by people? What is your mission statement? What are your core values? You want to reflect on all of these things and ask yourself, how are these things, these elements, being reflected out into the world? And you might also be wondering, well, if I'm just going out there and making sales, what does it matter, anyways? Like I said, one thing is it's doing all the heavy lifting for you, and it also differentiates you in a crowded market. And this is more important now than ever because everybody and their mother is jumping onto the bandwagon of entrepreneurship nowadays. So it's becoming harder and harder to seek out your audience and have your audience raise their hand and identify themselves to you. And that's another thing that this helps you do is it's attracting those people that will eventually become your loyal fans. And it's instant trust building. It is basically what you need to be doing, setting yourself up for at the beginning instead of years down the road once you're already established and you're trying to come up with new ways to get more revenue. And so here are some of the more in-depth pieces to your brand that you might not have considered before. One is authenticity. Another one is consistency. Excuse me. You want to make sure that your visual elements are consistent across different social media platforms because if somebody sees you on LinkedIn and then they try to find you on Facebook, you want them to be able to connect those dots. So that's why that consistency and the visual identity do have that importance, and that's when we're talking about the things that most people consider, which are the colors and your logo. So that's just one little tiny piece of the puzzle here. You want to make sure that your messaging across these different platforms is consistent, because no matter where people see you, you want them to be able to connect those dots and eventually
Yeah.
get into your ecosystem. So if they see you on two different platforms and you look like two different people, they might not even connect with you because they're like, "Who is this person?" There might be a lot of, my name is a bad example, but if somebody's name is like Kate Smith or something, then you might not be able to identify that person right away and say, "Oh, wow, that's the same person I talked to at that networking event," and that kind of thing. So that's why
Right.
you want to make sure.
I'm sorry, I was gonna add that I use AMP a lot. AMP your business, a tagline, AMP business coaching consulting. So people actually use it back to me now. Hey, I want to amp my business. Let's set up a meeting. Hey, I'm amping my business. So I just think that's a testament to what you're saying is that's become known for me is that amp because the logo, the company name, the all that stuff, it becomes known, as it were.
Yes, and Alice, just to point out, you are a perfect example of branding because of that. Your tagline is so catchy that people say, "Yes, I want to amp my business." So now you're already turning your brand into a verb, which is, when you consider it, that is the epitome of success in branding is, what do you wipe your nose with? It's not a tissue, it's a Kleenex.
Right, right.
Right? So what do you use for your business? Oh, I amp my biz.
I like it. Perfect.
There you go. All right. So the next thing is to identify your target audience. And there are two schools of thought here. There's the school of thought that, well, I should be able to help everybody. And so a lot of people don't like being pigeonholed. And then there is the hyper niche element where somebody is so niche down that maybe they have five people on the planet that could be their ideal client. So
Yeah.
you don't want to go to either extreme, but you want to take this into consideration, especially when it comes to your messaging, to some of the things in your brand, such as even the colors that you're using, because each color has a emotion that is identified with it. Each color kind of has its own personality. So you want to make sure you use that to help your ideal audience recognize you and connect with you just from a few small things like the visual clues that you leave behind. So somebody might more resonate with you if you're only reaching women. You might want to have a feminine color in your branding instead of something that looks more masculine and it'll turn them away, that kind of thing. So that's why you want to consider who your target audience is, because you want your brand to speak to that person so that they think that you know them better than they know themselves. That's the ultimate goal here. All right,
Love
so
it.
are the steps to build your brand. So we want to talk about your personal story. And this is part of what makes you unique. And it's what gets people to resonate with you, because a lot of the times our target audience will be us in the past before we reached a certain level of success, say, or a certain goal. So if you're hard pressed to come up with your target audience, that's a good place to start. And then if you feel like that needs to be revised, I've had women coaches say that they only want to coach men. So there is that kind of thing. But if you have gotten to that point where you can identify them to that level, then that's great. But if not, just look at yourself from the past, because you've gone through those experiences. And that is better than book knowledge. Somebody who has learned about that same problem that you overcame, that person will not be seen as big of an expert in the field as somebody who has actually gone through it in person and had this personal experience. So that's why you want to figure out what is that story that is the overarching piece to your brand. It's also going to it's going to differentiate you, because if there are millions of life coaches out there, why should somebody work with you? And you want them to identify with you and say, okay, well, you know how to get me to where I need to go. And that's the question you want to be thinking in the back of your mind is, how does this serve my audience? And again, define your niche, clarifying your genre. If you're just a generalist, if you say I'm a life coach, that's a generalist. But if you say, I'm a life coach that helps women overcome a divorce or something like that. So now you're really niching down to somebody who can say, hey, that's me. When you talk, it's almost like you're hearing the thoughts in my head. And then you want to make sure that your messaging is clear so that depending on what medium the person is reaching you at, they can instantly understand what that message is. And so you need to be able to convey that in different formats, visually, through copy on your social media, the message on your website, your logo, your tagline, your slogan, whatever, right? You need to get them in little short chunks because we have, as a society, we have a very short attention span these days. Somebody even said that we have a shorter attention span than a goldfish, which I personally find hard to believe, but who knows? With all of the social media scrolling and everything is in 60-second sound bites these days, I wouldn't be surprised. So you want to make sure that that is so concise and so targeted that just by reading one little piece about you or overhearing your name in a conversation and what you do, then you want them to instantly make that connection and say, wow, okay, that's the person I need to talk to. And again, it comes back to the visual consistency as well, so that you do want to look like the same person across different sites. And another thing that I didn't actually mention in this presentation, but I would love to bring up now is the power of omnipresence. You want to be on those other sites as well. You don't want to just be on Facebook and that's it. You want to be able to be on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Pinterest, YouTube. You want to be on all those places so that, for one thing, you capture a larger audience because maybe some people who binge watch YouTube don't have a Facebook account. So you want to be able to reach people across multiple streams. But in addition to that, you're going to look like you're everywhere. And all of a sudden, your authority increases. People perceive you
Mhm.
as an expert because you're everywhere and you look the same across all of the platforms. So this person must be huge. So people take notice of you. And if you have a memorable brand, then somebody at the point when they're thinking to themselves, "Oh wow, my friend just went through a divorce and I was at this networking event and I met this lady who helps women going through a divorce, so I'm going to connect them." So if you can make that person remember you even after the conversation is over, after they've gone through the funnel, you want them to keep you want to keep yourself on the top of their mind.
Can I share something
Oh,
that
sure.
came
I'd love,
along
yes,
listening?
please.
One of my colleagues here in Minnesota owns a heating and air conditioning company, and she's known as the filter queen because she always has filters with her. So your furnace filters. She brings them to meetings, she has them in her car. So people just call her the filter queen
I
because
love it.
that's what she's been known as.
Yes, that's a very important point. If you can even add that to your introduction to people, I'm known as the filter queen, then it'll in ways that you can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's like it just happens overnight all of a sudden. It's everywhere, right?
Yes. And that's what we want the brand to do is we want it to amplify outward from us so that we can be seen, known, and heard by a larger and ever expanding audience because you know, people do go through a customer journey. They have a customer life cycle, and doing proper things, you can keep them as raving fans, and they don't just pass through like water through a sieve. So this is why it's you want to make sure that in this giant, giant, vast space known as the internet, you have a light that's shining out and your brand is rippling that out into a further and further audience. So your ideal clients might not even know you right now. Maybe
Hmm.
they're already in your world. I hope they are, but you don't want to just rely on that. You want to fill your pipeline so that there's new people coming through all the time. So
So important.
cut through a lot of that. Collaborate with professionals and influencers. This one is awesome. And I've had a couple of experiences with this recently where you have something called affiliate partners. I don't know if you where your level of awareness is with that, but if you don't, look into it. It's a great way to expand your brand. And you can even reach out to social media influencers who have a million plus followers and work out a deal with them. Don't be afraid to reach out to these people and come up with collaborative partnering strategies with them because they might be on board with the idea. Also, you want to make sure you go to speaking engagements. You want to book
Yeah.
yourself for podcasts or speaking on a summit or hold your own virtual events like I'm doing right now. These are all ways for people to have a little bit of an experience with you so they can say, yeah, I really like that person. I resonate with them. I think they can help me. And that's your ultimate goal.
It is amazing how, I mean, that personal connection, even though you might not be in the same room, like Latar and I have never met in person, but
Yes.
you never know it because this medium helps with that a lot. But there's so much to be said for people getting to know you. And just a quick share for me, I spent 17 years in corporate America. It took me a while to adjust to this whole people want to know me as a person, not me as a vice president. So it was a little bit of a journey, but I got there. So if you're in that same kind of zone, it's doable.
Yes. And thank you again. You brought up another important piece to this, which is the fact that you're obviously going to be reaching a much broader market online than you are just by going to local events and trying to interact with your local economy only. And so this is why it's important to create that strong online presence. And you want to be able to create a sales funnel that will bring people into your world. So ideally, they're going to find you in places like networking events, speaking events, social media, but eventually you want them to get into your ecosystem. And that's why it's important to build your email list. It is one of the best assets that you can own as an entrepreneur because you have control over this. In places like Facebook, you can get your page shut down. I've actually seen this happen to some major influencers just this year, where their page was shut down and they had to pivot, and all of a sudden they were starting with a zero audience again. So that's why it's critical, so that in those times where that something like that might happen, God forbid, that you have something there in place. And that's why you want to make sure you have a place to collect these email addresses so you can continue to cultivate that conversation with them and build relationships with them over the course of however long they're your subscriber. And this is going to overcome one of those problems that at any given point in time, only about 3% of the people you talk to has the problem that you solve right now. Like in the sense that they would want to buy from you as soon as you make the offer.
Right.
So that's why your email list is your way to keep that conversation going so that over the course of that time, somewhere in there might be that 3% for that person where they are about to make that buying decision. And that's just when they saw your webinar and they said, oh, wow, I think this person can help me. So that's what you want to cultivate.
And
And
hence,
some of the things that people might be feeling is branding feels fake. One of the problems is I'm not interesting enough. I don't know where to start. There's so many of these things that are keeping you back. How do we address the first concern? You want to focus on authenticity. And that is why bringing your personal journey into your messaging and being open and authentic and yourself, especially when it comes to social media posting or if you record videos, if you write blogs, you want to make sure that's a huge piece in your content is that authenticity. If going back to the personal branding versus the corporate branding, corporate that feels impersonal, it feels plastic, it feels like cookie cutter approach, it feels like you're being pigeonholed. It might not even resonate with you at all. And one of your strongest pieces with personal branding is that authenticity piece. The next question is I'm not interesting enough. Again, we're not trying to go for the hero standing on the top of the building. Okay. We want people that are relatable. So if you had those struggles and going through the process yourself, you want to make sure that you're documenting that and you're sharing that so that people can see the person behind the company. And this is why people are going to be connecting with you a lot more intensely, is because they're you're the things that make you more human, make you more relatable. So that's why you want to focus on that authenticity piece and just being yourself, just sharing, being vulnerable. These are all the things that are going to make it so people find it irresistible They want to connect with you. They're going to be reaching out to you. They're going to be sending you DMs going, "Oh, how can I work with you? That one piece you shared, I really related to that. So how can I work with you?" Okay, so the next one is I don't know where to start. And believe it or not, you might not even know this, but you already have a brand. So the question is it by happenstance or is it intentional? By focusing on what your brand is, you're going to be able to create these intentional pieces instead of just what do people think about you when you're not in the room. You are cultivating your brand over time. It doesn't have to be a blam, I have a brand now. A lot of people like to do their brand relaunch and honestly, my brand is ever changing. So you want it to adapt to you. You don't have to be stuck in your brand. There's people that I've talked to that are like, "Oh, people know me as the lady with the red hat and the leather jacket or something, right?" So I have to wear my red hat and my leather jacket to every Zoom meeting, even in the summer. So you don't want to be stuck inside of your brand that way. So you are your brand, but what are you portraying out into the world? What are you projecting out into the world? And this can change over time. And that's okay. You don't have to get stuck in it, but you just have to do it with intention so that you're attracting the right audience. So what is the role branding plays in building your business? It's increasing your trust factor, it's positioning you as the expert, and it's allowing your ideal audience to identify themselves so that instead of you reaching out to everybody on the planet to find out if they're a right fit, they're going to raise their hand or they're going to stand in line. They're going to sign up for what you have. So you want to make sure you're giving them the option to do so at any point in time, but giving them that chance to say, yes, that's me. That sounds like me. It sounds like you're talking to me when you're speaking, right?
Yes.
You're going to be solving this problem that is keeping your client up at night. That's one of the best ways to get their attention, by the way, is by sharing that you have the ability to solve that problem. And that's what marketing is. Marketing is all
Mhm.
about that one little piece right there. So just consider that you not only bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to go, but you're filling that gap in with yourself. And as they cross over that bridge, now they're your client. So it's a win-win. And of course, your branding, as it expands and ripples out into the world, it can open up doors of opportunity to you that you have never considered before. Somebody might just reach out to you and say, "Hey, I'd love to have you on my TED Talk." Who would want that phone call? How cool would that be? Just to be invited to do a TED Talk. Then the whole world is your oyster. So you don't know what you don't know right now, but if you create an intentional brand, this will open up doors to you that will exponentially grow your business. We're not just talking that really steep grind. We're talking about just boom, instant credibility, instant authority everywhere. Everybody knows you. So there's quantum leaps that are achievable in the world of branding. And that's what I really love about it. So let's just recap here. You want to make sure that what you're doing to attract your ideal audience is be authentic and use your branding as a tool. Branding also creates multiple touch points. Years ago, I heard that you needed 8 touch points with somebody before they would go from a no to a yes. And now it's probably a lot higher than that. Who knows what it is? 15 touch points. Every time they see your brand, that's a touch point.
Yeah.
So here you are, you're automatically, it's like those life hacks. You like just set this up and then that just makes that much easier. It's like instant touch points. Every single time they see your brand, it's another touch point. So that's getting them closer to the yes a lot more frequently than you say calling them on the phone once a day for 10 days straight going, "Are you going to buy yet? Are you going to buy yet? Are you going to buy yet?" Who's tried that? Does that work? No, you want them to be making that decision and reaching out to you. And here are your next steps. Be intentional. make your brand be an extension of you and do those things on purpose. Be transparent. Share your brand. Don't be afraid to step out there and say, this is what I do, because some people might get turned off, but those were not your people. And by getting those people out of the way, that's clearing the path for your ideal clients to reach you. So consider that might be a bit of a polarity to share yourself vulnerably out there and say, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is who I help. But that's going to open up those doors a little bit more.
It
Open
brings
up your
in
front door.
it brings in the people that are meant to work with you, and you're okay with the ones that are not a good match. That's exactly the mindset to have about it.
I love that. Thank you. Yes, said.
I've listened to you for a while.
So you want to make sure that you have that presence, build that consistency online, be omnipresent, be able to be searchable, be able to have somebody look for you online and find you.
Yes, that's a good thing.
That's a huge hint. That's a pro tip right there. I don't know how
Yeah,
many people I've talked to where I've looked them up on Google and they're nowhere to be found.
right.
So there you go. Try that. Today, if you don't do anything else, please go Google yourself and see what you come up with and see
Yes,
what's hitting the first page because it's very enlightening.
good and bad,
Yes, for better or worse.
but be aware. It's the opportunity.
All right. And the next thing is take action,
Yes.
implement. Don't be afraid to take that next step. Don't be afraid to push the button on publish that blog. Publish your blog. Even if it's not perfect, just publish it.
Done is better than perfect.
Yes, very much.
And my other favorite one for this is progress, not perfection.
Yep. Progress, not perfection. Another one that I just recently learned is you want to seek out those failures because those failures are going to bring you closer to success because you'll be able to course correct. You have to put that plot on the map before you can start course correcting from there. So it's important to find that dot on that map.
Yeah, you just have to start. Sometimes it's a little scary, but it's that whole you'll never get anywhere if you don't start, right?
So trust yourself, give yourself grace, and just take that leap. So here's a free download for you that you can go to because if you're starting down the road of setting up your sales funnel, you might want to create a lead magnet to start.
Yep.
So that's why I am offering this lead magnet about lead magnets.
How appropriate.
And then you can scan that QR code. And Alice, can you grab
Yes.
the link to the other thing that we have that we're offering today?
Yes, give me a second for that.
Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and just stop my share for the moment, I think. All right. Anybody have any questions so far? Comments, observations, ahas? I'd love to hear.
I appreciate that it was short and sweet and to the point. Didn't have a lot of, the points, you made the points well and
Thank you. Thank
clearly,
you
not a lot of extra fluffy that just confuses the issue.
very much. Thank you. I love that. That's great. I appreciate your feedback. All right.
Sorry,
Give
it's
me
taking me a
that
minute.
link, Alex.
I should have been better prepared. It's taking me a second.
Oh no. Elmer, do you want to share anything about the presentation? If you're driving, don't worry about it. I don't want you to crash. Thank you for being here.
Yes, that would not be crashing is not allowed on our webinars,
Yes.
just to be clear.
Is
And
the Great Discovery your website? I just opened up the,
oh, you did that. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not my website. That's a platform that it's like a global e-learning platform.
oh, okay. Thanks for that too. That's a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, she's got some pretty good stuff going on there. Okay, I have it. Hang on, let me put it in the
I hope you
chat.
get value out of that. And maybe you can share your screen even. Would you be able to do that? No, not so much. It's okay.
Oh wait, were you talking about me?
Yes.
Oh, I yeah, because it's not hold that thought. It's not letting me put it in the chat for some reason.
Yes, but go ahead and just share your screen then.
Yeah, yeah. I will do that. I do apologize. I'm not being a very good helper right now. So this is gonna look small. I was trying to just put the graphic in the chat, but it wasn't gonna let me.
Oh,
Are you seeing it in my email?
yes, I'm seeing your email.
Okay. So you're seeing our little journey to success here?
Yeah.
Is it big enough? Probably not.
I'll
Yeah.
try it and let you know. I'll try
All
right now
right.
and see if I can, if it'll
I'm curious myself, but
Yes, this is a great learning. Thank you for helping.
always happy to help. Journey Success Program. Yep, it
all
works.
right. Wow, it worked. That's amazing.
Yep.
This
Thank
is when
you.
time, this is when technology actually works versus the other opportunity we've talked about today. Okay, now I want to quit sharing. Where did my little quit sharing
So
go?
in case you couldn't get that, Elmer, here's the link to that. It's tinyurl.com/journey to success. See, I should have been able to just rattle that off because that was pretty easy.
That is pretty easy. Journey,
And this is
success.
sharing a little bit about what Alice and I do together. We've done this for a couple of years now, is we have this now 8-week program that used to be 7. We added a bonus week. And this is our help for people out there who are still struggling with creating the foundational pieces to building a thriving business.
So get your goals in order. What's the plan to actually get there? Not just I want to do XYZ, but how are we going to do it? I have a course we wrapped in here called Time Navigation. It's all about your relationship with time. How does it affect you? How do you affect it? And therefore, how to navigate it?
Yeah, sorry, I found the visual for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, what should you be spending your time on versus you don't need to do it anymore? You dump it. We have a fun exercise we do that includes the words dump it.
Yep.
Um,
This is helpful because a lot of training programs assume that people have businesses and people are there from in all different places in their business journey. So I appreciate this as well.
Thank you.
I
Great
can pass
feedback.
it on to other folks, I'm sure, that I know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And did you want to share that there's a discount right now?
I will. I was planning on
Well, so
it.
she said share. I'm like, and there's a discount.
Oh,
I
okay.
love a
Yes.
discount.
Yes, there is a discount. Thank you for mentioning that. We'll get to that in the end.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. You're going to build up to it. I'm sorry. I went to the end of the book.
She's always getting ahead of herself there.
Right.
Would you mind sharing the other piece to that puzzle, Alice? The goal setting?
Goal setting, we set smarter goals because we talk about the ER part of goals and make sure that they're measurable, they're on track, but you actually want to accomplish overall, not just it sound like a cool little new glittery object you want to have, but it really connects to what your overall business vision is to make sure you're supporting that. And then again, that very clear what is the plan? What are the resources, the timing? I always talk a little bit about contingency planning because it's the when, not the what if, but it's like when something happens, you've thought about it a little bit so it's not as dire an emergency the day it happens and can roll that into. I bring, unfortunately, with my corporate background, I lived through Y2K, planning for that, and 9/11, and that's where we had some good contingency planning that kept American Express operating after 9/11. I bring
The
uh,
corporate background.
some experience with that. Credibility is what I was looking for. I have some credibility in contingency planning. So we
All
roll all
right.
that together,
Strategic business planning.
put some planning
This
together.
is the new piece that we added was using AI to help you with the workload, with the operations, because you want to make sure you have something in place so you're not just scrambling all the time. And AI is another one of those things that's like an expansion of you, and we want to help you maximize that to save your time and be more productive. And then I'm going to walk you through how to set up your own sales funnel. And I'm going to be discussing sales funnel in the broader sense of the acquisition of new clients, basically, in a nutshell.
Mhm.
And also how to set up your online sales funnel. Like the ClickFunnels made that popular, the sales funnel as an online place where you opt in and all that. So I'll actually show you the step-by-step process of doing that. And we're also going to walk through your social media profiles to see, do they give that professional first impression? We're going to do a little audit of your site and show you where you can maximize and optimize to make it look more pro, to give you instant credibility, be seen as the expert, have a call to action. These are all things we're going to be discussing.
Yep.
And I did give you this piece. I gave you the lead magnet piece, so you have a head start there if you wanted to jump
Yeah.
into that. But again, we're going to be talking about how to bring those people in. So you need more than just the opt-in page. You need the actual the shiny object that people are going to be flocking to. So that's your lead magnet. That's how you're going to get them to say yes. I'm going to give you my information
Yes.
so I can have that the PDF download and whatnot. So we're going to be talking about those different types. And so the program is, let's just have these little windows pop up randomly. Okay, so the program is 8 weeks long total. It's a weekly session on Zoom in a group coaching format like we're doing right
Mhm.
now. And if you sign up right now, you will also get 2 one-on-one sessions, one with me and one with Alice. So Alice is really great at the business triage. Can you just share a second on that, Alice?
That's being able to take that snapshot of what's going on right now. What can I do that? Just like we're at the hospital, right? A triage of what's the current state, what are the issues with the emergencies, what are things that can wait, so we can kind of get you that quick action steps right off the bat.
Yeah, and then I will help you put all of the pieces together in a formulaic system to help you maximize your digital marketing and make sure there's no leaks in the bucket, there's no holes, there's no gaps that are causing people to just fall through the cracks. So I'll help you map out that sales funnel basically. So this is basically 7 courses in one because you're going to get time management, goal setting, planning, AI, optimization of your social media, creating a lead magnet, and creating your sales funnel. So
And that,
imagine 2 months from
sorry,
now, you have all of those completed and you know what you're doing and you know where to go from there. And instead of it just being $497 for being here today, we're going to give you a special discount by entering the promo code. Let's see if I can remember this one. Mid-year 2025. And that brings it down to half the price, which is $248.50. Now, because of a flaw in the system, if you wanted to add our group coaching program, which is normally 1111, you will get that for half off as well. So for less than the price of the group coaching for 1 year, you can get a year of group coaching and the journey to success if you want to.
and the
But
thing I
that's
love
just
about this,
optional. That's completely optional.
yes, but I was gonna say for those who are interested, though, it's a nice because you spend 8 weeks together with people, and out of that subgroup, who wants to keep going, it's nice to have those relationships established.
Yep, exactly. Yes, that would be that would be ideal in my opinion, but like I said, that's optional. So there we are. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here
Mhm.
today. I hope that you got value out of this. I hope that there was something that you got that was a takeaway for you and that you will be implementing in your business to help your brand.